How birds decide if you are safe. A bird does not trust you simply because you love it. That is the primary mistake that almost everyone makes when they have birds in their yard. You fill the bird feeder and you buy the highest quality seeds. You speak softly when you are outside, and yet they fly away as soon as you take a single step forward. You assume you are doing something wrong, but that is not the case. The problem is not what you feel. The problem is what the bird sees. To a great tit, you are massive. You move quickly. You have eyes that face forward, just like every predator they have ever encountered. A sparrowhawk has these eyes, a cat has these eyes, and you have them too. It does not matter that you mean no harm. Their brain has no category for friendly giants. It only recognizes safe and not safe. And that is exactly where everything begins. If you understand this, truly understand it, it changes how you see every bird in your yard. You suddenly realize what these little moments signify. Why a blackbird keeps eating while you walk slowly across the patio. Why a robin sits on the fence and watches you without flying away. These are not coincidences. These are decisions. And in this video, I will explain to you how birds make these decisions and why you are much more a part of them than you think. The first factor that birds assess is not friendliness, it is predictability. That sounds simple, but it changes everything. In nature, unpredictable movement almost always signifies danger. A hawk does not announce its attack. A cat does not explain why it crouches in the grass. A child can run toward a bird without having any bad intentions, but the bird cannot wait and interpret the intention. It must react to the movement immediately, without a second chance. That is why one person can walk through a yard and the birds barely move, while another person appears and everything flees. To us, the difference looks small. To the birds, it is huge. Imagine two people. The first comes every morning at the same time, walks the same path, fills the bird feeder, steps back and disappears back into the house day after day, week after week, always the same. The second walks directly toward the birds, holds up their phone, leans forward, makes sudden movements, and changes direction. To a great tit, these are not small differences in personality. These are two completely different threat profiles. The first person is readable, while the second is not. And what a bird cannot read, it treats as a danger. A bird is constantly asking a silent question. Can I predict what this body will do next? If the answer is no, it flies away. If the answer slowly becomes yes, it stays a little longer. This is not emotion, this is survival math. That is why birds sometimes become calmer around older people, gardeners, or quiet observers. Not because these people have something magical about them, but because they are readable. Their movements are slower and their habits are known. Their presence does not suddenly turn into a pursuit. A blackbird learns that the person with the watering can is not hunting. A chaffinch learns that the sound of the back door means food is appearing. A jay learns that you are looking through the window but never come out fast enough to threaten it. Every peaceful repetition counts. Birds survive by recognizing patterns. And whether you realize it or not, you are one of the patterns they have been measuring since the first day you appeared in this yard. That is why trust in birds looks very ordinary. A great tit does not fly away when you open the curtains. A robin keeps eating while you walk slowly across the patio. A blackbird lands on the fence while you are still standing in the yard. To most people, this seems like nothing. But to a wild bird, it is a decision. It has already evaluated you, and today it has decided not to flee. The second factor is not whether you are nice. It is whether your presence brings danger or reduces it. To a bird, a yard is not a pretty backdrop. It is a risk map. Every fence, every bush, every tree, every bird feeder, every shadow, and every open lawn has a meaning. A bird feeder full of seeds can still feel dangerous if there is no cover nearby. A clean bird bath might be ignored if a cat often sits there. A beautiful open lawn might look peaceful to you, but to a small great tit, it feels like a stage where predators are watching from all sides. So birds do not just judge your body, they judge the world that forms around you. Do you fill the bird feeder and then walk away? Do you keep the water fresh? Do you keep the feeding station clean? Do you leave bushes, hedges, and trees standing that give them escape routes? Do cats appear when you appear? Does a dog rush out every time the back door opens? Do children bang on the window when birds come close? Birds connect events over time. If your arrival is associated with fresh seeds, clean water, and no threat, your presence becomes easier to accept. But if your arrival is associated with sudden movement, noise, or fear, you become part of the warning system, not the safety system. That is the reason why bird trust is fragile. A dog forgives confusion because its bond with humans is social and emotional. But the trust of a wild bird is different. It is practical, it is conditional. It says, "You have been safe so far, but I am still watching you." That sounds cold, but it is not. It is survival. Small birds live under constant pressure. Predators above them, cats below them, diseases at dirty feeding stations, competition from stronger birds, weather changes, food shortages, human noise, and new objects that appear overnight. Their world can change in seconds. That is why a robin that stays near you is not proof that it has forgotten danger. It is proof that its brain has compared the danger of staying with the danger of fleeing, and staying one. The deepest sign of trust is not when a bird comes close. It is when it behaves normally while you are there. A frightened bird freezes. A brave bird grabs food and flees. But a bird that feels relatively safe eats, calls, bathes, preens its feathers, looks around, and comes back. Normal behavior is the signal. If a robin searches the lawn while you stand next to it, it tells you that your presence has not broken its sense of security. If a great tit flies in, takes a seed, flies away, then comes back again and again, it shows trust in the root. If a jay watches you, waits until you take a step back, and then lands at the bird feeder, it is not being rude. It is calculating the risk. Many people want birds to trust them quickly. They want the magical moment, the bird landing on their hand, the close-up photo, the feeling that nature has chosen them. But birds owe us no closeness, and genuine trust is not forced. The goal is not to get a wild bird to ignore its instincts. The goal is to become part of a safe pattern. Move slowly, do not stare too intensely. Do not chase the moment. Let the bird come on its own terms. Keep the bird feeder clean. Keep the water fresh. Give it cover. Give it escape routes. Give it mornings where nothing frightening happens. Then wait. Wait, because what comes next is almost invisible. The bird might not sing at your window. It might not land next to your hand. It might not do anything that feels like a moment. One morning you will open the door and it will not fly away. It will sit on the fence. It will look at you with a bright eye. It will not move. And after a brief moment, it will go back to its own business, as if you were a tree, a familiar part of the landscape, something it already knows. That is it. That is the moment. No drama, no fanfare, just a quiet decision built up over many mornings. You have become predictable. You have become harmless. You have become part of the safe world. It is worth taking a moment to think about what that really means. A robin might live 2 or 3 years. A great tit often barely survives the winter. A chaffinch carries the winter inside itself like an open wound every morning anew. These birds have no time for mistakes. Every decision they make, where they eat, where they sleep, how close they come to a human, is a decision about life or death, not figuratively, but literally. And yet they have included you in this calculation. They have watched you, they have measured you, they have recognized your pattern, and they have stayed. Not out of affection in the human sense, not out of love as we know it, but out of recognition, out of evaluation, out of a quiet decision made over many mornings. You have become predictable. That sounds unromantic, but when you understand the pressure these animals live under, the constant, relentless pressure, then predictability is the greatest thing you can be for them. You are no longer an enemy. You are no longer a risk that needs to be managed. You are simply there, safe, familiar, part of the world they wake up in every morning. For a bird whose life is small, fast, and completely exposed, that is perhaps the beginning of trust. If this thought has changed how you see the birds outside your window, write it in the comments. Which bird has already been watching you without you noticing it? More happens in every new video than most people ever notice. If this story has changed the way you look at the wild visitors in your garden, Please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the natural history that often goes unnoticed. Let's cultivate a future where we coexist. The next treasure of the natural world will be revealed soon.